Greetings everyone, I'm Kevin and I have been 6 months on testosterone. I had meant to do another update like after 4 months, but because of time and mental health and physical health issues as well, like I've been sick too much for my liking, I haven't had time or the energy to do an update in time for it. So we are here 6 months after I started testosterone, which is really weird in my opinion. I think the first thing that is the most noticeable difference to me is my voice. Like looking back at how I sounded in the beginning of the year, like my first videos, my voice is so different. Greetings everyone, I'm Kevin. And I also have like a sore throat today, so my voice is a little bit rougher because of that, but it is a lot deeper than it was when I started testosterone. So for reference, here is how I sounded 1 month on T.
Greeting everyone, I'm Kevin, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about my first month on testosterone.
And here's how I sounded 2 months on T.
Hello everyone, I'm Kevin, and this is my 2 weeks on testosterone update.
For me, it's quite a big difference. You know, you don't really notice it until it's gone to the point that it's impossible not to notice. And you're like, oh. Like the moment that I noticed that my voice had dropped, it was because I used to make the same sound as my cats and I couldn't go to that high note anymore. And that's when I realized that my voice had dropped, which I really like. I'm a lot more comfortable with my voice today, which I very happy about. But other differences that I have noticed very clearly, but not as, like my voice is the most obvious one to me, but I've also experienced more hair on my arms and my legs and my stomach. Like I have noticed that. I know that a lot of people say that they lose a lot of hair on their head, and I can't really tell you if I lose more hair on T than I did before T. I've always had a lot of hair. Like the men in my family, my dad's size of my dad, and my brother as well, but he has a different dad. And my grandpa, my dad's dad, they all had very thick hair. When my grandpa was 75, he still had all of his hair on his head. And so I'm not worried that I'm going to lose a lot of hair because of that, because of genetics, I guess. But those are the main things that I really noticed. And then I also noticed that my body temperature has gone up. I have an easier time sweating. Like I'm usually a lot warmer than I was before. Like I always was warm. I usually was like comfortable with the temperature when other people said that they were freezing, and I walked with like a t-shirt and I wasn't bothered by the temperature in the room or outside. But after starting testosterone, I am so warm all the time. Like I thought that I was warm all the time before, but now I can just like, the smallest thing can make me sweat. And like that's something that I noticed very clearly. It's something that I know that a lot of people within the trans community who started testosterone has said, is that you don't have as easy a time to cry, which isn't true for me. I've been on testosterone for 6 months and I haven't felt any difference in that. I can still cry like very easily. I'm the kind of person who cries when I'm touched by something. Like I love sports, and when I watch sports and I watch these athletes struggle so much and then they come in first place, like I'm gonna cry because I think that's so beautiful that they managed to do that. And I can also cry because I think of something that has happened in my life that it was sad or traumatic, and I don't really feel like it's harder for me to cry than it was before. I feel like I am a lot more comfortable crying, that I don't feel, you know, like crying equals weakness or femininity, or like stuff like that. I don't see it that way. I didn't back then either, but it's something that you usually group together with women, that women have an easier time crying than men. And so I thought that if I stopped crying, I would be more of a guy than a girl. But after starting testosterone and really becoming more comfortable with who I am and all of that, I don't really feel uncomfortable crying. I've even cried in front of people a number of times now. Another thing that really stood out to me that happened after starting testosterone is when I walk outside, I have my head up and my eyes forward. And that was huge to me when I realized that, because before I started T, I would walk a little slumped and I would have my eyes at my feet looking at where I was going. But starting testosterone, I had my head held high, looking forward. And that was something that really that was just such a huge thing when I realized that. The confidence that I have gotten these past 6 months have been really great. So then what do I hope will change until the next 6 months? So until the 1 year mark. I do hope that I'm going to get, I wouldn't be mad if I get an even deeper voice, but I would love to see some stubble, some facial hair growth. Like, it doesn't have to be a lot, I just want to see some of it. Like, I think that would be really nice to have, to notice. That's it. Those are all the things that have changed with these 6 months after starting testosterone, and what I hope will happen in the coming 6 months on testosterone. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time. Bye!